Here we have the crew from Killing Them Softly with us in the studio. We have Brad Pitt, the director Andrew Dominik, Scoot McNairy, Ben Mendelsohn and Ray Liotta. Good day, gentlemen, all of you. Thank you very much for coming in to be with us. Andrew Dominik, I'd like to ask the first question to you. What was so interesting to you for the project? Was it the hold-up story, or was it an analysis of the economic system in crisis in America, capitalism in crisis? What was the key factor for you in this theme?
Use the mic, please, Andrew.
Please use the microphone.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Is it on? Well, you know, the first thing was just the story itself, you know, but then, you know, I realized that it was essentially about an economic crisis in an economy that was supported by gambling, and the crisis that occurred because of a failure of regulation, you know. And so it seemed to be, you know, a microcosm of a larger story, and that sort of became difficult to ignore.
Qu'est-ce qui vous a plu, Brad, dans l'approche?
What did you like, Brad, in Andrew Dominik's approach to this theme? Please use the microphone.
Well, it was the same thing, exactly what Andrew's describing. The movie doesn't clarify itself till somewhere towards the end. It's we think we're watching this microcosm of small-time gangsters, but it seems emblematic of a bigger picture. But again, it's not explained to us in the end. That and Andrew and I have been friends for some time now. Had a great experience on the assassination of Jesse James, and really wanted to find something to do with him again. And so when this thing came up, it was a pretty easy choice to make.
C'est un personnage de régulateur.
You play the role of an enforcer. Do you feel that our economic situation needs an enforcer such as Jackie Coogan?
Well, I don't know that I'd go that far, but certainly, you know, what the mortgage crisis told us is that we need much stronger standards of regulation, because capitalism left unchecked can run amok. I'm a capitalist. I believe in that system, but at the same point, you know, it is corruptible, and whether it's human nature or whether it's a choice. So I just think we need much stronger regulation.
Film de genre, donc film politique.
It's a genre film, a political film, a sociological film. Scoot McNairy, how do you prepare for these scenes with dialogue? Because there's a lot of dialogue. So for actors such as you, it must have been a delight to play this role. How did you prepare the role with Andrew, with Brad, thinking particularly of the scene in the bar?
Use the mic, please.
Please use the mic.
Particularly with the scene in the bar, there was absolutely no preparation. I didn't meet Brad till the camera started rolling. I thought we'd go for something and you know, see what would happen, and you know, I didn't meet him. We didn't see each other, and see what would happen, see what would come out on camera. And I think the first couple takes were a little rusty, but all in all, just prepped for about a month for the dialogue and the part, what have you.
Il y a une pression particulière parce que Brad est aussi le producteur.
Brad is also the producer of the film. So when you see him for the first time, you were under pressure. Was that working? Was that going through your mind?
I think the pressure itself was something that I kind of wanted to put on myself. The nervousness and what have you. I was hoping to put that into the scene and see how it played out.
Ça fonctionne très bien.
It works very well. Ben Mendelsohn, the same question to you. We see you here in Cannes. You're unrecognizable compared to how you are in the film. How do you create such a metamorphosis? What kind of state of mind are you in when you play such a role? The perfect loser.
Il se passe des choses à Cannes.
Plenty's going on in the background. Ben,
Well, I think you just want to, you want to attempt to surrender to what it is that you're doing. Andrew is someone with very strong ideas about what the type of performance he wants, the level of abandon, etc. And so it's more or less just trying to do what he says, you know.
Qu'est-ce que vous leur demandez à vos comédiens?
What do you ask your actors to do? What do you ask Brad, Scoot, Ben? What is this level of abandon he's talking about?
You talk to every actor differently, you know. Ben is someone I've known for 25 years. We've known each other since we were 18. So with him, I just have to encourage him. Just have to egg him on a little bit. But everyone is different, you know.
Et Brad Pitt, on lui dit quoi?
And what do you say to Brad Pitt? Because you've already worked with Brad Pitt. Do you talk about how he interprets the role? Do you have disagreements?
You know, when it's working really well, it's like playing cowboys and Indians. You know, all you're trying to do is to encourage the actor to use his imagination. So you just try to create an environment where the person feels safe to, you know, make mistakes, and then they're going to trust you enough not to use any bad pieces, you know.
Vous avez peur de faire des erreurs parfois, Brad?
Are you afraid of making mistakes sometimes, Brad?
Vous jouez, oui, c'est un jeu. Justement, parliez de l'imaginaire.
You were talking about the imagination. Brad, I'm thinking about the imagination and Ray Liotta, for example. When Ray Liotta takes this role, I, as a spectator, go back to Goodfellas by Scorsese. And it's almost like a continuation in the role you were playing there. Is that disturbing for you, or is that something which you incorporate into your acting, this kind of continuity? The continuity between the different roles which you have played, particularly the Goodfellas person?
Well, no, I don't think this has any connection to Goodfellas at all. I mean, it's a weaker. What I really liked about it was I'm usually the one beating people up, so it was just nice. It was nice to go the other way and have them beat me up. It was really a nice change.
Vous aimez ça?
Do you like that? Do you like being beaten up?
Well, not in a personal way, no. But in terms of playing pretend, it was a different kind of part to play. It was, you know, just more of a weaker guy that they were all going after. So I got a lot of enjoyment. But, you know, it's make-believe. They didn't really beat me up. The hardest part was letting those two guys beat me up because I know I could take them. That's the roughest part, these little shrimps beating me up.
Vous me comprenez quand même, Andrew Dominique, quand je
Do you understand, Andrew Dominique, when I'm talking about Goodfellas, there are references with the cast. We think about the roles they might have played in the past in The Sopranos. I'm sure that influenced your choice in some way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, you want to use people's associations. Do you know what I mean? So... But Ray's good, you know.
Ouais, ça c'est sûr. Ça, il est formidable.
Yes, he's great. He's kind of slightly frightening. Brad, we've been talking about reassuring the actors. Are you afraid of making errors when you play characters such as you play?
No, absolutely not. I mean, as long as you're working with a director that you trust, you know, if you know you're in good hands, you got to. It's all about a search and destroy kind of attitude, and that's also where the fun, that's where the surprises happen. So absolutely not. But you know, with this thing, you know, I was just thinking about, you know, casting Ray. We were really, really happy when Ray came on board because it's a tough one to cast. It's a guy that everyone likes immediately, but he's in for a short section of the film. So to have that kind of instant gravitation towards this guy, and then who's also, we feel, who has weight and has status, and then is going to take the punches that he does. Anyway, it was a really difficult one to cast. So we were thrilled Ray came in and gave us that.
There's a lot of dialogue, a lot of action, but the action scenes are shorter. Why did you play it that way?
The action scenes are what, sorry?
The action scenes are shorter. There's a lot of dialogue, shorter scenes of action. We talk more than we act in the film.
That's like in life, right? Well, yeah. I mean, it was just the nature of the thing.
Mais c'est ce qui vous plaît le plus, au fond, les dialogues.
Do you prefer
la
dialogue
révélation, en
rather
quelque sorte, de
than
l'âme humaine à travers,
fighting? Do you want to reveal the human
opposite
being?
of what I just did. You know what I mean? Like if I'm going to make another movie, I would like to do it with very little dialogue. I mean, long dialogue scenes are tough. You know, they're tough to do. You know, if you're shooting a take, you know, basically a take is a mag. You know. And it's just like, you know, sometimes you're having to go at it inch by inch, and other times it just all, you know, like flies together in one take. But the real difficulty with this movie was the performances were so good, you know, and good dailies are much harder to deal with than bad dailies. You know, most dailies you can just throw like, you know, 70, 80% of them out straight away, you know, and then you've got a lot less sculpting to do. But this was really hard because it was like trawling through and comparing, you know, it kind of drove you crazy.
Quel type d'acteur est Brad Pitt, par exemple? Parce que
What
vous
type
avez
of an
présenté
actor
les
is
acteurs
Brad
avec,
Pitt?
comme
You've
Ben Mendelsohn, mais Brad Pitt, c'est quel type
talked
d'acteur?
about Ben
Il fonctionne à la
Mendelsohn, but
première
what
prise,
kind of
fonctionne
actor
comment?
is Brad Pitt? Does he work on the first take?
Brad's all over the place. You know, it's either it can be he'll come in and really surprise you on a first take. He can be, you know, it depends. All over the place. Scoot is good. He's kind of like early takes. You want to get him early. Jenkins, you know, you got to get the first two takes. Ben, you just don't know what he's going to do. You know, but everyone is different. And you have to develop a different language for each person. And each person has to, you know, you have to get them to do certain things. Or
Ray, Brad, pourquoi on choisit
Brad,
de produire? Est-ce que ça
why
change
did you
quelque chose
choose to
quand on
produce
joue
the
dans un
film?
et
Does
qu'en
it
même temps on le
change
produit?
the way
Est-ce
you
qu'on-
act in
on-
the film?
On lâche prise, on oublie le rôle du producteur.
Do you
on oublie
forget that you're a
le poids
producer
qu'on peut
when
avoir
you're
sur les épaules en
acting?
tant que producteur?
No, what I like about producing is you get to start at the inception of the story. You're starting at that stage in the development of it, and then putting the pieces together. And there's much more pride in it when and working with friends, people I respect. We're able to bring in a cast, you know, like this to the